going live.
And then I'm going to get all these tweets and shit put
Yeah.
out. Alright.
What's up? I think we're live. I'm not sure. Pretty sure we're live.
Hey.
So.
I see my big ass head over there.
Welcome to the Doom Ninja Podcast live taping.
Live? On actual tape reels. We're taping this.
Yes, reel to reel. It takes up the whole wall behind my monitor. You guys can't see. Give us a sec to get all the stuff going, and we will start the show.
Getting all the little tweets and whatnot. Tweeter. Twiddle daddle. We're doing it live.
Screw it! We're doing it live!
He doesn't say screw it.
Well, I don't want to, say certain things.
I do.
Did you say I was the dirty one?
No, I wasn't implying that. It's me.
Oh. I thought you were trying to say that I was the guy.
No. Okay.
We're almost there.
Now, is there a way to snag this? Let me move this over a little bit. To snag the link to this live shit. Post it on.
If you're interested in watching me and a friend talk about video games,
Retard.
and or want to comment, join us. Alright, we're almost there. Thanks for bearing with us. I wish there was a way. I need to look harder. There might be a way to get the link shared before we do this, because I feel like...
Nah, this gives people time to come in anyway.
That's true.
While we're just kind of getting ready. As I say, it starts at 9. Not everybody's punctual. It's alright. I don't blame them. New Ninja Cast podcast.
All right. I've got sunshine. All right, we about ready?
Let me get the link in here. Doom Ninja podcast. Make sure that that's correct. Okay. Tweedle Daddle. And do we have one shared on the Doom Ninja Cast one?
Twitter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just did that one?
Well, you did. I thought.
No, I just did it for my own personal one.
No, well, before that.
No, I did it on Facebook.
I think it auto posts.
No, I didn't go through Hootsuite this time.
That's 4 hours ago. Never mind.
I had other ones set up for earlier.
Yeah.
Here, I'll do it. Actually, what the flip? Hootsuite it up. That way I don't have to log out. Hoot, hoot, do Ninja Cast. Hoot, hoot. Retweeted. So it should be retweeted through the Doom Ninja Cast. Hopefully.
Really?
Did it?
Yep.
Okay. I wasn't sure about that. Hopefully it didn't retweet it through my main one too.
Okay. Alright, ready to record?
Just a sec. Let me make sure I got everything set up. Alright, we'll go ahead and start.
Ryan.
Nate.
Start the show off with some SoundCloud stuff.
SoundCloud.
So, we host on SoundCloud, and it kind of gives us our stats and stuff, as we've heard in previous episodes. So, do you know how many listens we've had, or I'm sorry, plays, if we're using their terminology,
Plays.
in one 7-day period?
I don't want to be a player no more. I don't play, I just collide.
It's Crush. You got the words wrong.
No. It was around 100, right?
107 plays in a 7-day period.
107. Feels good, man.
Oh.
From our first episode, what did we get? Like 20 the first week?
The first one was like...
Which was awesome.
It was like 22, and a lot of that was like friends going, I'll give you a listen.
Yeah. I just left the page on for a while, and you kids do your own thing.
So, if you break it out by city... Okay, I'm not going to go through every city. We'll just go through like the top 6. Where do you think a Polk County city falls in that top 6?
You would imagine, since that's where we are, that it would be at the top.
Sir, it's not even the top 20.
Which means our friends gave up on us this week.
But it means we have new friends.
Yeah, for sure.
So we have some friends in Ohio. And then our second most listened is actually in the UK.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that's crazy. And then we have Wisconsin. Our fourth most listened is Denmark, and then Germany. So of our top 5, 3 are not in the U.S.
I know people in Wisconsin. I have family in Wisconsin. I wonder if...
Is it Madison?
No, it's not.
Ohio, the UK, Wisconsin, Denmark, Germany, Texas, Singapore. So actually, if we go to the top 7... only 2 are United States.
That's awesome.
So
worldwide.
We're
international.
Misters worldwide.
I mean, yeah.
Dude, the newspaper was right again.
It's right. It knows what's going on. Once you're on the internet, you have to be international. It's just the way it is. That's just the way it is.
And it's every episode. Every episode in the last 7 days has gotten at least 3 listens. So that's pretty cool. So we appreciate everyone who's supporting us. Seriously, it's... Like, again, we started this, 14 weeks ago, because we've done one every week for 14 weeks. Yeah. And it's starting to really pick up, and it's, I don't know, humbling a little bit, and, like, super cool. Like, I saw the number and was blown away at first.
Yeah, it's crazy looking at the past week. Like, before I was just looking at the latest episode, and I was like, oh, it's got, like, 30 listens or something. That's pretty cool. But not realizing that there's a lot of people picking up the old episodes.
Yep.
So we got, like, a good amount of plays this last week, too. We got almost 50 plays just on that last episode. But 100 overall. I mean, that's the big number. And what'd you say it was, like 20% of our total plays previously we got in this week? It was almost...
Didn't we make a bet in, like, episode 3 if we got 100 listens in a week?
Was it on the same episode, though? Like, if we're supposed to get 100 for the episode? That's what I thought it was, like 100 listens for an episode.
Well, it depends what the bet was. I don't remember.
I don't remember either. If anybody knows what that bet was, comment it somewhere. Either through this live stream of the video. If you're not listening to the live stream, you can go to doombrowski.com/podcast. Just comment anything in there, or on our our Twitters or anything. Yeah.
Doom Ninja Cast.
Just remind us. I'm pretty sure
there was a bet that I didn't want to do.
Well, I'm pretty sure I was going to wear my gladiator outfit, which I wore yesterday for Halloween.
You were going to make me wear something else. I think I was. Oh no, it's going to bug me now. I don't remember what it was. We'll have to go back and listen and find out if we can remember what the bet was.
Yeah.
And we'll see our wording if it applies to 100 plays total.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be 100 plays for an episode. For like a single episode. But this was 100 in a week, which is like kind of like... That's technically like the same thing. Basically. I don't know.
We'll review the bet and see if I want to delay it until we get 100 per episode.
We'll get the guy in the little camera with the blanket over his head. Check it out.
Yeah.
Alt play.
Nice. So again, thank you guys very much. I mean that not just as a pandering thanks for listening, but like it's cool that 107 listens to something we do for fun. So again, thank you.
And hopefully we can continue to be interesting. I got some other ideas that I'll be sharing later for the cast that will help expand it as well.
Whoa. Yeah. I don't even know what these ideas are.
Expand it.
So you will be hearing them the first time I am. And for those watching at home, the hand motions that he did was fairly hilarious.
It was kind of gross at first, but then I just kept going. And it got less gross. It became more like a magician.
What are we going to call that one?
I don't know. I'm going to call that one, turn your levels down. You're too close to your mic, Ryan.
Is that what someone said?
I don't know. Well, I have to hear if this is clippy or not. Listeners,
So my mom put where shit. I love the typo. It says, "Where's a shout out for Cleavage's Tennessee?" Which
that doesn't sound.
Yeah, I love my mom. It's Cleveland, Tennessee. It's not Cleveland where the Cavs are from. And then also a shout out to our Castor Troy 82.
Oh yeah,
the guy who got us in the Duelist. Check him out on Twitch.
He just liked our page too on Facebook.
He did, and we're going to see him Thursday IRL. I hope.
Well, this Thursday I'm not going to be able to make it because I got it down the car.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
But I might be working at Carl's soon, so
that would be neat.
Yeah, that would be awesome. All right. So we're on episode 14.
It seems we're no longer tweens. We're officially teenagers. Yeah. We're a teenage podcast.
We're getting there. We're almost able to drive.
Does that mean at episode 16 we have to do a driving game?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't like driving games.
Do I have any driving games? Or just a game that involves driving? Well, like Saints Row or something. Saints Row's fun.
I love Saints Row. The third one is... we'll have to talk about the last one is the most ridiculous.
I've played 3. I haven't played 4.
4 is even more over the top.
Oh, I'd imagine.
You get superpowers.
Why not? Why don't you just get some superpowers?
Alright, so let's go into Axiom.
Alright, let me get a new one of these open. I'm just going to leave these looking clippy, the way they look. And if it sounds bad on the recording, then I'll just change it next week. It won't be the worst in the world.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
I gotta record.
I want to make sure... Recording.
Ryan, you put a poll up on Twitter.
Poll.
And what did that poll say?
It said it was stormy out when the lightning hit it, and then Frankenstein came to life, and the pole was his penis. He came out of the ground.
Not that. The other poll.
I technically didn't put that up. Frankenstein put that up on his own. This time it wasn't actually the monster that got struck. It was Frankenstein.
Himself.
Yeah.
Himself.
So, yeah, I put up a poll, and there were a few games that I haven't played in a while, and that I've been interested in replaying, and I wanted to see what people thought. So I put a poll up and got quite a few votes, actually, surprisingly. And I had, Dungeon of the Endless, The Bug Butcher, Axiom Verge, and Helldivers. All of them, which, I'll talk about eventually, but, I made it so the people who are listening can help prioritize. And Axiom Verge was ahead by 1 vote this morning. So, I played some Axiom Verge this morning, which later on, you'll be able to find a full gameplay video of that. It's one of the things I'll be adding here. So, Axiom Verge is a metroidvania, 2D, kind of has the 16-bit era graphic style.
Yep.
It's out on pretty much everything now. It was originally out on PS4, which it was released in 2015, I think the end of March in 2015. In May, it was released on Steam for, I know, PC and Mac, not 100% about Linux. And then later on, it's been released on Wii U, recently released on Xbox One, only like a month ago. So that's pretty sweet. Yeah. And it's on PS Vita as well. It was made by a single guy. One guy made this over 5 years. He did everything the same way that I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he made all the game, all the art, all the music. He did all the programming. He did everything. He has a marketer that's like on his team, quote unquote, but he didn't touch the game at all. So,
jeez,
that's pretty awesome. And he was already like a AAA game developer that's worked on big titles, Madden games and stuff like that. His name is Tom Happ. His studio name is Thomas Happ Games. So, the game currently is on Steam for I think $20, $19.99. Well worth it, especially if you're into that style game. The reviews on it currently, the Steam reviews, because it has like the latest reviews and the older reviews.
Yeah.
Latest is 92% positive.
That's
the
older
good. 95% positive.
That's really good.
Yeah. And he sold, I want to say, have you ever checked out Steam Spy? It's a website that shows how many people have games installed on Steam and then how many own the games on Steam. So there's 69,000 people that have it installed, and there's over 80,000 owners of Axiom
Okay, so people maybe like
strictly
half of my library
Steam.
is not actually downloaded.
Yeah, or you never played it.
Yeah.
Things like that.
That's fair.
So you can get kind of a roundabout idea of what the person has sold, and that's just a single platform. These other platforms make a lot more sense, the console stuff, because this is a game you play with a controller, 100%.
Yeah. I'm looking at the gameplay video and live stream, and it's definitely not something to play with a keyboard.
And then Metacritic as well was pretty good. It was 80 on Metacritic, which Metacritic is brutal.
Well, they're harsh on indie games. Like, they're very harsh.
Which I totally understand. I've been thinking about that more as a developer, that just because you're indie doesn't mean you have to look indie. You're striving to be that AAA look. You want to blend right in with all the other games.
Or like gameplay. Just because you're indie doesn't mean that the gameplay and stuff that has to suffer.
You can't forgive things just because somebody's indie. Because when you pick up a title off a shelf, you don't know that.
Yeah.
Just like with music, you pick up an orchestra, or you can pick up some indie rock band. They can be held to the same standards. Anyway, aside from that, the game is kind of this weird, like alien futuristic type of game. You are a scientist named Trace, and he's doing an experiment, and it botches and explodes, and he wakes up in this other world inside like this weird egg thing. And
they show in the beginning of the gameplay footage of like a red that kind of spins.
Yeah, it spins off the top, and then the bottom's like this big base. And I don't know if you notice, the egg is kind of a slightly different graphic style than like the rest of the environment. And it seems like some of the things he's done in this game were like either drawings that he's converted to pixel art, or like a 3D piece of art, because that egg definitely looks like it was done in 3D, and then he kind of converted it to pixel art. It doesn't look bad. It just kind of clashes a little bit in the art style. Overall, the art style is pretty cool, I would say.
Yeah, pause the video on the egg itself, just to kind of see what we're talking about.
Yeah. So
I gotcha. I see what you're saying.
The experiment goes wrong. He wakes up in this egg in this other world, and there's a voice that's speaking to him, like this lady's voice, and she's telling him, to help, basically. From what I gather. I mean, I don't focus too much on story in a lot of games, to be honest.
This guy.
But you get the gist of it. They don't really tell you what to do. They don't tell you how to run or jump or anything like that. You pretty much pick that up because you have a controller in your hand and you start pressing buttons. Once you pick up new items, it does tell you how to use the items then. So
like this electric gun?
Yeah, the first one you get is just a regular blaster, so you just have to platform until you find it. Which, the beginning paths of it are very linear, which it absolutely should be. You don't want to be getting lost before you even have weapons. So you get this regular blaster gun, and then you get like this. You start getting like minor upgrades. I know you get like a little health things, like your health is slightly larger, or your projectiles are slightly larger, or they do a little bit more damage. Like in true Metroidvania style. Oh yeah, you're just looking for tons of items, and a ton of them are hidden. Like even when I first started playing today, I was like, "Where's all the holes in the wall?" I want to find all this stuff. And I can see, I remember the playthrough before. I see like little gaps in places. Like I know what I need to get there. Like I know that's a secret that I got to get to.
Nice.
But some of the items in this game. Well, actually, let me roll back. The story starts unfolding pretty quickly. That you still don't know what's going on when you put into this world, and you start seeing these like robotic. There are these giant lady face robots with like tubes and stuff coming off them. The cover art is actually one of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. It's like you're watching screen.
Yeah, I'm not. But it's huge. It's much bigger than the character even, and it really seems like this is part of some larger machine, which may be what you're inside of, one of the machines. It's hard to say. There's more than one of them, and she's saying, we need to stop this being, whatever it is. He's screwing things up. If you do this, it'll help us out. And then as you go along, she's like, oh, I also need you to do this, because the questing has to continue.
Yeah.
The items, so I was talking about one of the guns is just a regular blaster. The second gun that you get, it shoots like this pink ball that shoots a little bit slower. The projectile's a lot bigger. And if you hit the shoot button again, it'll explode and shoot like a 6-way blast. So you can reach things that you couldn't normally because the blast goes like up, down, and then diagonal both directions. So you can get to switches and things, like if you shoot through a crevice in the ceiling, you can hit the button again and it'll hit a switch now because you can hit the bullet downward.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I just saw a different pink bubble that when it hit, it then like saw blades that rolled up and over the walls. You got that?
I don't even remember that. I don't know if I ever got that.
That one looks cool. Yeah, it's like
it sounds awesome. But no, I didn't get that one. But that gun, if you choose not to explode the projectile, it also does extra damage because it's slower and
yeah.
One of my favorite guns in the game is that like lightning shotgun that I thought you were saying something about earlier. It shoots like this green broccoli blast in front of you. It only shoots out about 4 or 5 feet if you were comparing like the length of the person, but it does a ton of damage and it has like this big.
Well, this one's
hitbox.
like Ghostbuster style.
Oh, so it's like shooting.
It's like in the video you see it shoot out and then it kind of attracts down to the person.
Gotcha. So it's like a homing one. I don't remember that one either. I only played like an hour today. I still got to refresh to get all the other weapons. But there's other interesting things that aren't direct weapons that can be used as weaponry.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the things you get is a drill. And the drill doesn't take up a gun slot. You can use your gun while you have the drill. Not simultaneously, but you don't have to switch. Because there's a gun switching system. You can swap back and forth through different guns. But the drill you can get through... Like, there's certain terrain that you can just tell by looking at it. You're like, that's breakable. Yeah. You know it as soon as you see it. But there are some terrain that you don't know is breakable, and that's how you can find some little secrets. Which, I actually found a secret. It's so strange. Like I said, I'll be uploading the gameplay I've done of this week's, and I have commentary on it as well. And you can see I got to a certain point in the level, and I noticed scan lines appeared on my player. They're super faint. They were like single pixel scan lines. And if you weren't like super paying attention, you would never find it. But I was trying to pay attention to the detail because I noticed some cool shaders earlier in the game.
Yeah. Like
when he was shooting, his projectiles would explode, and it would make this circular shader that like warped the world behind it, like really briefly. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. So I realized that when I walked over to this door, I couldn't jump up to reach it, but there were scan lines on top of me. And I kept walking back and forth. I was like, am I just seeing this? And as I walked away, they faded off, and they faded back on. I was like, that's crazy. And just for the hell of it, I turned my drill on, and it drilled through the wall, and it's like, you found a secret area. Like, the lady was legit like, this is a secret area, you shouldn't be here. It's like a lot stronger than you'd ever imagine. And I never saw that before. And it was just because of some like little minor thing. And I actually tried like 3 or 4 times to go through it. No, not happening. I have to, I gotta loop back to that when I'm like fully powered up. But that was super awesome. The other really interesting mechanical thing that's not a gun directly, but you can affect enemies with it, and you also affect the environment with it. It's like a glitch gun. And it shoots out like these rectangles that get progressively larger, and it makes like this sound when you're shooting.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that sound.
It's sort of like a somewhere in that range.
Gotcha.
And you can see that there's certain places in the environment that are kind of glitching. It definitely feels like you're inside of some sort of like simulation or something. Mm-hmm. But like you'll notice like everything looks normal, and one little line of squares is kind of like jumping every once in a while. And if you shoot it with this glitch gun, it'll turn into like this glitched out graphics, kind of like when Mario screws up way back in the day. You got to blow in the cartridge and all that crap. So certain pieces of the environment, when you do that, will either like destroy or warp into something else. Like the first ones that you warp into turns into a platform, and now you can jump across areas because you noticed that it was glitchy and you're able to glitch it out. You can also glitch enemies, like smaller enemies will glitch to do completely different things mechanically. Like there's these little enemies that were moving up and down, and they weren't really doing a whole lot. They're just small. They're just kind of hard to shoot because they're a small thing.
Yeah. And
I glitched it out. And then I noticed every enemy that was that type of enemy became glitched out on the screen. And I was like, that's strange.
That's a crazy mechanic.
So I shot one of the ones that was glitched, and they all exploded. The glitching on that one connects them all.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts.
That's pretty creative.
And there's some other enemies, like there's like these little Fruit Loop shrimp butthole things. I don't know how else to explain it. That's pretty much spot on. And they bounce around like Pong stuff. So they're just bouncing off the terrain, and if they hit you, they hurt you. But they just bounce off everything. And when you glitch those, now when they're bouncing, they'll break destructible terrain. So it serves more of a purpose now.
Deep gameplay.
Oh yeah. And there's a laser enemy that like it'll patrol around pieces of terrain, and when you get within a line, like a collision line of it, it'll put down this red laser and it'll try to laser you. So you have to dodge it. But if you glitch it, it no longer lasers you, it lasers other things and lasers terrain out.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, it's awesome. Cool. And then there's certain enemies, if you glitch them, they'll provide health, or they'll start attacking much weaker.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a scorpion thing that shoots these 3 attacks, but if you glitch it out, it'll shoot 1 instead of 3, and when you kill it, it'll always give you health. So it's little minor stuff like that.
That's a very important gun, it sounds like.
Oh, for sure. And
what's this one where it shoots a tick and you go roll it?
That's basically what they've done for the equivalent of the morph ball, like Metroid.
Yeah.
Because this game is like deeply Metroid, like for sure. But instead of rolling into a ball, you shoot the tick thing out, and then you control the tick, and your body is encased in a shield, so you can't be attacked.
Okay, that's
and the tick has its own health bar, and it has like a drill laser, but that's it. Huh. So it's more like when you go into tick mode, you can you dodge things and just drill through things. And there's some parts as the tick that are just extremely difficult. And you'd be surprised where you can get that thing, because it launches out of your gun. So if you're jumping somewhere and you launch it, you can get tons and tons of distance with
really?
it. Oh, yeah. So you can find like a lot of secrets.
I have to pick this one up.
Speedrunners. I watched a speedrunner play it, and they use that tick like nutso. It's crazy the way that they use that tick to get around. Like they'll do something on the other side of the level, and then they'll blow it up, and you're on the complete other side again because your body was over here. It's like, what's even going on? It's crazy. The music, we talked about the music in the episode when I was gone for the week. We had the music part, and I talked about the music in this game being pretty awesome, minus that one stupid lady song that that is the worst thing. And I actually got to that part when I was playing today, and I was like, here it comes. I know, I've heard like 2 awesome songs, or 3 awesome songs, like, it's time for crap garbage. But otherwise, the music is really good. You can buy the soundtrack as well as the game on Steam, and I would say it's pretty well worth it. There's only that one song that I don't like.
Yeah, it's $99 by itself. And if you buy the game and the soundtrack, you get a bundle and save a little money. It's like $24.99.
Yeah, $5 cheaper.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good deal for a soundtrack. I bought a few soundtracks and games, so that would be worth it. So the game is basically just explore. Of course, you keep an eye on things so you know where to backtrack. The map is really, really nice because the way it shows that you've checked a room, and it puts a border on the edges that you can't pass, and it leaves it open when there's other terrain that you can go further on.
Gotcha.
And there's been a couple times where it seemed like there might have been a secret because the wall wasn't finished there, and there's probably a way to continue moving over or come from the other direction.
So that gives you some sort of clue.
Yeah, because when there's a door, it'll show you a door on the map, but if there's just edge, you're like, there's got to be a way to continue on. And that's really nice. It helps traversal a lot, so you don't get quite as confused. So when you're stuck, you can at least be like, okay, let's go to this open part of the map. But most of it's exploration, and there's a few boss battles that are pretty awesome. The art on the bosses is probably the best art in the game. It's like super high detailed. If the whole game was like that, it would be like one of the most gorgeous games ever. It's kind of strange that they're so different. The boss battles themselves are not really like super in-depth. They seem like pretty basic. They start doing an attack when they get to lower health. They start doing a slightly different attack or add another attack. But it never really felt like you have to do a lot on any of the boss battles, I remember. Like
just
you don't have to
go through the motions.
Yep. So you're like, okay, I need to jump here and dodge down here, and that just keeps cycling. Everything pretty much is just cycling. So that can be a little bit boring, but it is
be part of the story.
It is satisfying to watch the bosses explode. Because the explosion animation is like this weird glitchy, it turns into all these little square glitch pixels, and like there's 1,000 of them that show up on the screen, like explode off, and it does another shader that like warps the screen, nice. And then all the little health globule things are floating where he was, and you kind of, when you jump through them, it collects them. So it's pretty satisfying in that sense. And it's cool when you approach the boss's room because there's this like neat, like almost looks like a cow head skull, but it's like different. It has these weird tubes and stuff. You can tell it's like some mechanical beast alternative thing. But that's pretty much the game. I mean, I have played all the way through it. And my last playthrough took about 8.5 hours. It said that I had 90% of the map unlocked, so that other 10% was probably that secret area that I just found today.
That you have to get more stuff for.
And I picked up like, I want to say like 40 or 50% of the items. So I was able to get through the game only collecting half of the crap. So there's a ton of content there that I just never even
Did yeah?
noticed. Yeah. So completionists could have a lot of time to spend in that game because the other items would probably be double the time, 16 hours, I would guess. And it definitely has replay value if you set it down for a while. I feel the same way with Metroid itself.
Yeah.
Like I actually played Axiom Verge before I ever played Super Metroid. And Super Metroid just is a beautiful game, but the controls are clunky, and it's a lot more realized after you played a game that is made for analog sticks.
Yeah.
That has like smooth movement. It's difficult to do like wall jumps in Metroid with the D-pad. The game was still really fun, but
For sure.
yeah. But this game is it's Super Metroid, just new. So it's definitely a good homage to the Metroid franchise. But,
Okay, so check it out. It's Axiom Verge, Axiom.
Yep.
Verge, Verge. It is on the Steam, which it's Mac and Windows. I just looked. It's not Linux. And then you said it's on PlayStation Vita.
we got on Vita, PS4, Xbox One, and Wii U. Another little funny note, while I was doing a little bit of research earlier today,
Mm-hmm.
he has a typo on his website, I think. On the bottom it says copyright 2014.
He got this secured in the future.
Yeah,
son.
you got an extra zero in there.
Nice. Yeah, so check it out. If you've played, let us know what you thought of the game. If you haven't played, check it out and then let us know.
Yeah, and as a reminder, that was done through a poll on Twitter. I'll be doing another one this coming week, and you can help decide what I'm going to play next.
Be part of what's in the show.
Yeah.
My eye's killing me.
I see that. Sorry, man.
Not your fault. Just. I was watching at home. My contact, something happened today, and my contact started hurting, and I finally pulled it out, and now my eye is revolting against my body. So I'm not really looking at the camera a lot.
Yeah, and to those at home, I recorded an hour of gameplay that was supposed to be perfectly synced up and ready to go, and I left it at home again. I brought the mixing board, so hopefully everybody listening to the live stream can now enjoy their not having to listen
no echo.
to crazy echo. You just hear the room reverb, which is not as big of a deal. But
so if
we're
people
trying.
listening want to put in the comments if they're not getting the echo, if the sound quality is a lot better, just let us know, because we can't really hear ourselves talk per se.
Yeah, and we need to figure out something about this comment system too. Once we start sharing, comments get put on different versions of the video, different shared ones.
Yeah, it is weird.
Yeah, so now I'm finally seeing the ones here that Bruce, and that Sandra was saying too. I missed your good evening. Good evening. I stopped by and saw her for lunch today too. Around lunchtime, I was like,
precious boyfriend who should stop saying all the cool stuff he does around my wife, so I don't have to do it either. Love you. All right, Titanfall.
all right, let me. I'm finally on the regular one where I'm seeing the other comments that you were seeing, which I'll just watch the comment feed for this one. What do we got on Twitter here? We've got some bot retweets. Colton. Of course, Colton's there.
Big shout to Colton. He's
Colton.
the freaking, besides our significant others, the biggest supporter.
Yeah, pretty soon he's going to be helping with a little bit of that AI too. Once I get it less wonky, so people can try it out.
Yeah.
All right, let me get another. Make sure I got these saved. Let me get rid of the episode 13 crap.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready to record.
Soundcloud, Axiom. Yeah. Hopefully it's just not too ultra effing loud. I'm a little worried about this one. I apologize to the people watching in advance if the recorded version is not as good. I'm trying something with the levels a little bit.
Gotcha.
And it appears to be clipping. But we'll see.
Record. Dude.
Am I getting a Dell? I don't like Dell.
Bro.
Asus. Bro. Of course.
Homie.
Don't play that.
So, way back, episode, I don't know, 2, 3, 4, somewhere around there, I talked about a game that I've been super hyped to play. We focus on indie games, but every once in a while, AAA games gotta get in there.
Game's a game.
Game's a game. So I played before the tech preview of Titanfall 2.
Yeah, you got some good feedback on that, didn't you?
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So it is one of my favorite shooter games of all time. Just it's parkour plus a first-person shooter plus giant robots. What happens is you standard first-person shooter, except for you can run up walls and do like wall runs and double jumps and like kind of pull yourself up on ledges and bounce backwards. So you can even wall run and you take your knife out and slam it into the wall and can hang for a few seconds and shoot. So there's a lot of like just beyond the standard first-person shooter gameplay, which is one of the reasons I've always loved it. The new one, they added even more.
Of course, you have to.
Correct.
You got to keep them coming back.
So the parkour is a little smoother. They've actually made it to where you can chain together some movement a little better. They've added a chain that you can grab and basically traverse any gap or like pull yourself to a Titan, which are the giant robots you call.
Is it like a hook shot in Zelda? Like, does it
Yes.
come from you? Okay.
It's a hook shot. And then just the overall movement of everything. So they motion capped the Titans before it was kind of program movement, like some 3D artist, did a decent job, but this is way more fluid, like just watching them react. So I picked it up yesterday, and it was Halloween, so I didn't get to actually play it because it was taking care of the family business, take the kid out for trick-or-treating and also handing out candy. So I have to play today, and the last game had no story mode to speak of. There was a campaign mode, but it was like multiplayer with a narrator voicing over it. So like it was a very loose storyline, and the company who makes it, Respawn, had said that just came to a time crunch on the campaign mode and kind of threw together what they had. So they have made up for it in the newest game. Holy crap. I'm only, 3 hours into the campaign mode, and it's the classic, like, you have a mentor. Your mentor, spoiler, but it's literally the first 30-second spoiler. Your mentor gets killed and transfers the Titan over to you. So you have to repair it and go through this whole thing. And you realize there's now a relationship between the pilots and the Titans. Like, there's a neural bond, and there's like something going on there, like it's kind of symbiotic relationship as opposed to a man using a robot.
So, like, have you seen Pacific Rim?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very similar, but even more elaborate than that. Pacific Rim was more of a mind and body become one. This is like two symbiotic things that have independent thought but rely on each other.
So, do you have to be in the Titans to control them?
No.
So they can kind of do their own thing?
There's certain commands they can do modes where they guard a spot or they follow you and guard, and they can recon. So far, like I said, I haven't even played multiplayer yet because I'm so immersed into the campaign mode. The graphics are beautiful. If you went back 5 years ago, the gameplay footage would make cutscene. Things are usually guilty of cutscenes. You never actually see gameplay footage. This is how beautiful the landscape, the flora and fauna are. And this time, it's not just fighting troops. You actually have to fight animals. Quasi Avatar, the movie. Looking things, which scared the crap out of me the first time.
I haven't seen that.
Dude, you're doing yourself a disservice.
I don't know. I'll probably watch it eventually.
It's a really good movie.
A lot of people like it.
But you have a lot of loadouts. They've added some more weapons. They've added some more like different types of grenades and stuff. They have this new thing called a fire star. It looks like a shuriken. When you throw it, it's magnesium. So it ignites and it melts through stuff. So like if you hit a player with it, all you see is sparks and then like the thing's dead.
All right.
Like it does a bright light and it burns, and if you hit a wall, it does like area of effect heat damage and stuff. I can't speak any more highly of this game. If you like first-person shooters, I feel the new Call of Duties that have a lot of the wall running and stuff saw Titanfall, the first one, and went, oh, let's add that because people think it's cool, but they didn't do a really good job. This job is not meant to be a war sim. It's meant to be a very fast-paced. Do you remember Unreal Tournament?
Oh yeah,
the original. How
I had it on Dreamcast.
Yeah, it was super fast. Like everything was going. Now this game feels like not unrealistic hyper pace, but the game does not reward sitting there and hiding all day.
Yeah, it's got that flow to it, kind of like the Burnout games. Like, they're just really fast and they got this flow to them.
oh man, it's just so much I want to say. The graphics, they improved, which I thought the last graphics were pretty good, but just the quality of the art itself, so the renders and stuff in game are definitely better. They added talking into the game from the campaign mode. The other pilots will talk to you, and also the enemy pilots talk smack in game. Like, oh, that's all you got? And there's a weapon that if you hold down the right bumper, it'll lock up to 12 missiles. And when you let the button go, it'll shoot those things. Well, if you can dash around the wall or something, they curve slow and they hit the wall. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, I got this guy dead to rights. Hold the button down, get all 12 locks, let go, and he dashes behind the wall and goes, you didn't think it'd be that easy, did you? And I was like, son of a bitch. I
thought your guy was going to be like, eat a dick, as he slides around the wall like can't be shot back at.
It's not that dirty.
It needs to be. I would lose it if a game did that.
But you play a guy who is a normal foot soldier training to become a pilot who gets kind of thrown into the role. As far as the main story, you are kind of the freedom fighter against a giant megacorp that's controlling everything, and they're not very good people. So that's the story backdrop. Mm-hmm. And then also in this one, they added a lot more, to use a League of Legends terms, a lot more R's. So ultis. That did. Before there was some minor things, but now there's like one where you have a Iron Man style chest cannon that just melts. That if you don't get out of the way, it will take out a Titan in a couple seconds. There's a new one I didn't see in the tech preview. It's like salvo core. Everything shoots. Like your entire Titan, like every gun possible just aims and fires. And that was pretty neat because just the standpoint of your Titan has so much recoil during that time, which is another cool little factor. There's so much recoil, it's hard to control. Like, you're shaking all over the map. If you dig first-person shooters and you're sick of Call of Duty, sales-wise, this came out at the wrong time. Battlefield 1 came out the week before this came out, and it's a huge hit.
Yeah.
Which is making me sad, because I think if Battlefield 1 didn't come out, a lot of people would be paying Titanfall.
That's the problem with the holiday season. Everybody wants to get there, because that's when people are going to be spending most of their money. I would never release a game around the holidays, because you got to compete with, the biggest, baddest friggin' people.
And I wish there was something. I mean, it's doing really good. The reviews are through the roof. Metacritic gives it an 89.
Which is really high.
Which they gave the Uncharted game a 93, and that's one of the highest ratings they've given them in a very long time. So it's just that side of Uncharted game. I honestly think once the shine of Battlefield runs off, and we get some Black Friday sales and Christmas, you'll see sales of this game kind of go up. The single player campaign is fairly deep gameplay. They give you multiple ways to do it, so you can just do the run and gun. I actually started off doing a lot of cloaking. There's a cloaking kit you can get that's like a 5-second cloak for a 15-second cooldown. And so I was trying to do the stealthy way, which I don't normally like, but it kind of presented its way. And then there was I died and got frustrated, so I said, you know what? Grenade, shoot, just blew through it. You know? So it rewards gameplay, and the AI has definitely improved. The bad guys used to kind of they'd call you out. Oh, look, it's enemy pilot sighted. And they kind of stare at you for a second, like, what's going on, man? We cool? But no, this one, I didn't realize one was behind me. I heard enemy pilot sighted, and then I was like, what's that noise? I turned around, and it was hitting me with the butt of his gun, which takes like half your health.
Oh, damn.
Instead of that thing, they legit improved the AI for the enemies too. I put it on hard mode for 2 minutes. I couldn't function. Like, I'd stick my head around the corner and was getting sniped. So I highly recommend the game. It's made by BioWare. EA Sports released it. It actually came out the 28th, so last Thursday.
Yeah, not long ago. Something like that.
But it's on PlayStation, it's Xbox, it's Microsoft Windows. I know I had a bunch of people ask me earlier today, is it a Play Anywhere game? And it is not supported by Play Anywhere. You have to buy that from the Microsoft Store, and since this is EA, it wants everything to go through Origin. So I don't know if that's something that'll change later. I was really hoping this was a Play Anywhere title. Just real quick for those who don't know what Play Anywhere is, Xbox, Microsoft, Windows 10 computer. You can play games if you buy it from the Microsoft store on both. Instead of buying buying the title twice, I can play it, stop it, switch it over to the Xbox, play that for a while, stop it, go back to the computer, and so on. Having a wife and kid and one main TV in the living room, that function appeals to me a lot.
Yeah, for sure.
Just to not have the wife divorce me and take my kid away and be like, you chose video games over me watching Desperate Housewives or something.
See, that's why I just get everything on PC and I have an extra PC in the living room.
Nice. Well, for me, I have a gigantic computer screen. It is ridiculous. It's a 40-inch screen.
Yeah.
But I have a 70-inch TV that's 4K. I mean, it's just I'd like to see, feel like it's life-size, realistic graphics. I get that, you understand.
Yeah. You're going to get a VR headset that's two 10-inch screens? I need the full experience.
I want it all. I need smells. It's like, oh god, I said that vision of that place, that South Park episode with the bike. Did you ever, with Mr. Garrison?
I don't watch a whole lot of South Park.
I've only seen a couple episodes, but yeah. Anyway, super awesome game. I've said that probably 10 times at this point.
It sounds awesome. The little preview that it's showing here for the people watching the live stream, it looks pretty badass.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just wondering, because I haven't played it, and it does look cool for sure. Now you said that there's a symbiotic relationship, and that they fight separately. Does the guy ever get in it? He's a pilot, right?
Yeah. So when you first call it down, and that's the cool thing too. When you first call down your Titan in multiplayer mode, so far it's not single player is a little different. You hit the down button on the D-pad, and depending on perks, it comes flying out of the sky and does the superhero landing. Like if you remember Deadpool, here comes superhero landing. Mm. Same thing. It comes down, does the 3-point stance, and you can run to it, or if you're already there, you hit X. And depending on your height, your position, chest opens up and it either picks you, scoops you up, and kind of puts you in, or you do like a Legolas on the elephant thing from the movie, and kind of bounce off its knee and shoulder, then jump in. There's a couple. There's a really neat one I did in the tech preview where I was on the cliff and I was turning around and shot, and then I turned on a jump and I did this kind of leap backwards, butt first into it, and kind of landed, and it was like it pulled me into it. That is one of the. It seems like it's like the warp thing you were talking about in the other game, Axiom Verge, the little shader thing. It's not every time you get into it is the same thing. I thought it was a nice touch. There's different animations for getting into the Titan.
Yeah, it makes it feel more lifelike.
So when you can get the Titan, primarily a lot of people get the Titan, and just because you can take a lot of damage, it's definitely powerful. Mm-hmm. Some people, depending on your objectives, will have a Titan be in Guardian mode, which basically you plant it in this 180 degrees. Once it gets fired on, it's guarding. If it gets fired on, it always retaliates. Mm-hmm. And then you have Follow mode, which it's basically like your wingman following around, auto shooting targets. Yeah. So there's a lot of gameplay in various styles. Because I know people that like sniping, that set their Titan kind of actually further away in Guardian mode, and then go to a completely different side and snipe because people run up on it and they're like, oh, the Titan's here, so the pilot must be nearby. And they're sniping from some other hallway or some other vantage point, using their Titan as a decoy. So it's pretty neat.
It seems cool.
Yeah,
I like that it's on PC as well.
Yeah, actually, I've seen on PC, I saw $40, I think I even saw it. Normally it's a $60 game. So I saw it for $40 on Amazon, a couple places. So you might want to check it out. Like I said, the one-player campaign, I'm 3 hours in. I don't even think I'm close. I know I'm not close. I'm still literally getting batteries for my Titan. Because I don't want to ruin the story. But I'm still doing that. By batteries, they're like mini nuclear cores. It's not like you got some 9 volts. I'm just like, shaking my tongue.
I was just thinking, well, maybe it just dies over time and you just got to keep putting batteries in it. Just like anything else with batteries?
Yes, that's exactly what it's like. Gotcha. And they're not lithium ion, so they don't last that long.
You just can't recharge them?
No.
They don't have rechargeable stuff in the future?
I guess not.
Or is this the past? This just happened a long time ago. These were alive.
This is like Star Wars?
Like between dinosaurs and...
These became the heads on Easter Island?
Yeah.
They just covered in stone and buried them in the ground?
Metal eventually turns into rock, over time. And,
Is that how that works?
Yeah, and then like engineering like warps back, so things that look like super badass and mechanical end up looking like little derp faces. Yeah.
I don't want ever hear that we're not an educational podcast.
Yeah. So now you know. You heard it here.
So check a game out. If you like it, or if you hate it, tell us. And if you're on Xbox, Nate Gray, GRUI, 0130 is my gamer tag.
O or 0?
0, sorry.
0130.
0130, yes. So NATEGREY 0130 is my gamer tag. I always love playing with people because I like talking, and if you want to talk smack, that's fine too. My wife will make fun of me and point and laugh, and we'll all have fun.
Just another day at the office.
Yep. I was going to say more, but that was the perfect ending. Just another day at the office.
At 14. Titan 2. Okay, I didn't make show notes for this week because, like I said, I don't have a whole lot. We got enough with the game stuff this time.
Yeah.
Pretty much fill it. Ooh, Scoozy. Three segments. Down and out. One more to go. Sounds good. Then we're going to redo the outro. For those watching live, the outro is generally repeated. It's not something that
we recorded it once
over. Yeah. It's not really necessary to just give out all the information differently each week. It's nice to be able to reuse things, so I reuse the ad spots and I reuse the music and things like that. Anytime you can reuse something is good. So we're going to redo another one because we have a few other sources that things are posted to, and we just want to keep it fresh. I do that every once in a while.
So we'll do studio update?
Yep, and I'll just try to go off the top of my head on this one because it's all the same stuff, basically.
Ryan, what is going on in Studio Dombrowski?
Studio Dombrowski. This week was pretty much all just working on AI. I got a lot of AI. So originally, I can't remember if it was where I was on last episode. I feel like I just started it.
The girl would, if you tried to push, she would do something like...
Yeah, she could slide into you, I think, and she would grab the couch and just try to win.
And her elbow drops were...
The elbow drops
donk.
So they were on point. Okay. So I recently changed it so her elbow drops are not as predictable. Because before, every time that... so the way that she gets into the elbow drop is very strange. It wasn't programmed. I never programmed her to jump onto the couch. That's not in any of the programming. It just happens by proxy. So, and these are like insider tips that once you know that the AI is working that way, you'll be able to exploit it. Which I'm trying to, square away and figure out. But right now, if you slide into her, generally she'll try to dodge it. She'll try to jump to dodge it. And if she's like pushing the couch away from you or something, when she jumps to dodge it, she'll jump onto the couch. And then once she's bouncing on the couch, she has a whole other state that says, I'm on the couch, I'm floating, now what? And she tries to hover over you, basically. But now she has a 80% chance to do the elbow drop instead of 100, which before was just like, you're under me, I'm doing an elbow drop. And I found that, excuse me, if I did like an early slide, she would jump to the left onto the couch. And then if I ran to the right, she would go to the right. And then if I went to the left, it would cross her field of view, and she would go down, and I would just keep running past. She could never hit me. Because I knew that if I went out this way, she was 100% going to dodge. Now, It's not 100%. And usually when she hits the ground, she has a chance to either punch or slide you. And usually she slides, and she slides like pixel perfect when she hits the ground. So you gotta have to gauge, like, is this one of those 20% times where she's not going to elbow drop? Because sometimes she does it late now, too.
She does a snap drop?
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, the AI is getting pretty damn difficult. I got the clash fixed up, also, which was giving me some headaches. Like, sometimes it was just going past the end, and I couldn't figure out why, and I got that squared away where it's always doing it. and I kind of narrowed the window because it seemed like it was a little easy. It might just be me. And when other people test it, they'll be able to tell me, like, it's unbeatable! When it gets into your zone, when she's clashing, it is almost unbeatable. And that's just to, sway the balance. So if you're really good at clashing, you can't just use that the entire time. Once she gets into your zone, she's going beast mode.
Jeez.
Another thing, which I don't know if I'm going to change it or not, but we were talking about the perfect last week. When you do a clash, it can show perfect. That perfect is within 4 pixels of perfect, which means 2 people can get perfect and 1 person can lose. So I might have to make it pixel perfect.
Yeah.
Like, I like the idea of having it like really close to pixel perfect, because when you see 4 pixels off, you don't see that it's off that line because it's 1080p. So it's like such a tiny amount. You want to feel like you can get perfect more often.
Would it be hard to add in like
out of it.
Close or a?
I don't know. I mean, I could put like a near perfect and a perfect, but I might just make it pixel perfect or just leave it. Because like I could see from another game player's perspective where you'd just be like, I got a perfect too. That's not fair. I lost. But they didn't really. So I'll probably make it pixel perfect. Yeah, I'll just do that, and it'll be a super rare thing that happens. And when it does, it'll be like, holy shit, perfect, go Steve! Yeah. There's some other AI mechanics that just need some polish right now, and I'm going to have to go kind of reverse engineer the system that I have set up. It makes the most sense to have a state machine, which is it only does certain things when it's in a certain state, and then within that state, it makes changes to the other states, so it jumps back and forth between states and can never do things in certain places. And before, it was just like all the checks were going at the same time, and I started breaking them apart. I have like 5 or 6 different states now. It definitely needs more than that. I'll probably kind of, like I said, reverse engineer it and make it so, because I'm getting a lot of problems when I'm getting towards the ends, like the victory end on the left and the right, and it's just because it's all in the same movement code. Like the regular left and right movement code does a ton of checks that just, it needs to be simplified somehow, or at least moved around. And it's doing like little stutter steps and stuff. So it's still being worked on. I also found that one of the bugs that I thought I fixed is not fixed, but it's only happened once in the last 2 weeks.
What bug? Is it bug?
Good. It's the one that when people get stuck in the ground.
Oh, okay.
And I've seen it once in the last 2 weeks. So at least I know it's there. I don't like that it's there. I'll probably get rid of it before the actual demo comes out, which the demo will be out November 22nd. People who sign up for the newsletter can get it a day early. You can find a link to the newsletter on my Twitter. It's my pinned tweet. Or you can go to doombrowski.com, and I'll have it linked on some blog posts and whatnot. The easiest place to go is Twitter, though. The top tweet will have a link straight to it. And every Monday, you get the updates of all the things that I've done, including this podcast and blogs and stuff. And this week, I will be uploading a video of gameplay of Axiom Verge. I went ahead and did some commentary, so you can hear the music. You can hear that crappy lady singing song when I get to it. It's about an hour. I figured since I'm recording gameplay for this podcast anyway, I might as well put it up somewhere so other people can check it out and you see more in depth, more than just the trailer of the game. You can see somebody actually playing through it and see if it's something you might be interested in. So I plan on doing that in the future. You'll see that it has like the same kind of overlay that we have here. I'll have a lot of annotations, so you can just click the links that you're seeing and it can take you straight to the places. Other than that, I mean, that's my main focus right now is AI and learning some marketing stuff. I was filtering through a lot of YouTubers because I had this list of like 900 YouTubers that had small subscribers, and it was kind of a dated list. So I'm weeding out people who haven't been active for more than a few months and seeing if people are playing the same types of games. Because eventually I would like to send out little things saying, I would like it if you would play my game. That'd be great. You get a free copy of it if you do play it. Just link to my webpage or something.
Yeah,
and just
cool.
Give those people some early access stuff. So I'd like to do that within the next couple weeks.
Maybe do some giveaways in the podcast.
Yeah, we could do something like that. And I'm trying to set up that game day at Arcade 80s. I sent him a message about it yesterday, and he's like, "Oh, I totally forgot. I didn't have things scheduled yet." So it'll probably end up being the Sunday before the release, which is a day sooner than people would get it through the newsletter. But no matter when it is, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to playing with other people again because it was pretty sweet. that's the gist of it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. What have you been up to with the Ninja Fat Man?
So I'm trying to get a little better with Lightworks, just the whole video editing thing. Like I made a couple gameplay videos that are kind of chopped together, and I want them a little more fluid. I mean, I'm not like at the highest standards in the world because I'm still kind of new to the whole video editing thing, but I think I can do better. So I'm going to kind of I have like 6 videos recorded that I'm going to, once they're all done, just kind of release them on a schedule so they'll be somewhat regular. Some of which are games we talked about already, some are games we're going to talk about, and some might be games we never talk about. I don't know. That, and then I talked to the wife about my other YouTube idea for a like husband and wife podcast, but it's got nothing to do with us being married. It's just 2 of us delivering stuff in 5 to 10 minute intervals. It's not game related, so once we have a little more details of that, I'll bring it up. But it's spreading of knowledge, if you will. That would be kind of neat and something fun to do, and something also not time sensitive. Kind of like a lot of the games we do, we try not to do time sensitive because we don't know how long the episode will be. That's been the main focus, and then Glimpse, my game. Yeah. Then I don't want to say hit a brick wall, but I cheated.
Uh-oh.
I was having issues with the movement controls working how I wanted them to. So I, based on your recommendation, I found a movement engine and just kind of imported the code. Because I was like, why do I need to reinvent the wheel if the guy's already done it? So I brought it in there. The game is hideous because when I made tiles for like the floor and stuff, I made them and kind of they're white tiles that are certain pixels wide, and the last 5 pixels are green, and I use that to mark where the spawners are going to be. So I'm using it all. Like I'll go back and fix all the art, but right now it's blocks for positioning and stuff. And so now I have my 4 obstacles are completely flushed out. They have temporary placeholders, but there's a jump, a slide, a dive. So you have to go between kind of a top and a bottom. And then there's a wall that I don't know if you're going to pull out a blaster and shoot, or if it's like a shoulder bump, or there's a wall that's thinner. Instead of being kind of a big, wide obstacle, it's a thinner wall that you'll have to traverse somehow. I haven't honestly decided, but I've color-coded my demo right now to max the Xbox controller. So B is dive, because it's kind of the 4-in-1. Y is go up, A is slide, and then X, there's no real correlation. It's just the last button that was there to go over there. And so now I'm fooling around with how I want the game to proceed. Do I want the player to be static, and then the obstacles move at you? So the whole point is you get a flyby of the screen, and then you put in, okay, it's up, up, down, down, left, right, whatever the case may be.
BA select start.
Thank you for the assist. So, do I want the player to be static, and when they hit right now it's right trigger, when they hit engage, do the obstacles slide at them, and he performs what you say, and if there's collision, then you're done? Or does he proceed across the screen? That's honestly, I'm trying to figure out what's the...
Well, he can only go so far. If he was proceeding across the screen, you'd have to zoom out the view, or you'd have to stop at a certain point, and then the obstacles would have to move towards him. So, personally, I think it would be cool to have him start moving across the screen, and then have the camera kind of grab it, and maybe sway with him when he's going up and down. So when he gets to a point, it's very easy. Okay. I could show you how to do that. It's very easy.
The camera view stuff has been the bane of my existence.
Yeah, don't use the locked-on view system. I have a really cool camera system. That's what I use in Suburban Scavengers. That makes it kind of glide in. You can do zooms and stuff. Yeah,
talk then, because that part's pissing me off.
I can. Yeah, we'll have to get together, and maybe I can. We can make like a tutorial video or something. We'll both do something.
I also played around with a different concept of like, because the whole thought of glimpse was you glimpsing the future, but what if the lighting, you saw the whole room and then it faded out, and then you had to, as you basically, then you ran the screen, and as you went through the obstacles, they would light up like right before.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very hard.
So I thought about that as opposed to just having a flyby. I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to like.
Yeah, you can do image blend and change the whole color of an object to something like flat. and then image blend it out to the white, which will be the color of the object.
So
that could be cool.
I thought that'd be kind of neat, to where you get the screen, and then the difficulty is what determines how slow the fade is, and then the player traverses, and right before they get to the obstacle, it lights up, so they know if they're gonna collide, because they're at the they put the inputs in ahead of time.
Like a fog of war type of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that last second, you're like, God, I missed! Or, but that half made me want to see if that's something I want to do instead of doing the pre-entry of commands, if you will, like the controls, is have it be real time. You get and then it's dark, and then you hit over with the joystick, and then as you get within a couple pixels, you have that long to react to the obstacle coming into color. So I don't know. I tossed that idea around after watching a video on how to make things fade in and out. So
understandable. I've done that. Seen a tutorial, like, I'm going to do that. That's in there now. And then, like, I don't know. I don't want to say I have ADD. There's just trying to find code to help me past the little obstacles. I'm trying to do a lot of it on my own, so I learn, because, a lot of people... I watched a YouTube video where this guy basically proved with Unity, he's like, I built the code, and he built a game without writing code. He just went like, here's a free thing, here's a free thing, here's a free thing, here's some art assets, and there was a game. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to actually learn this stuff. And like, Heartbeast is the guy who I didn't realize was the guy that did the Udemy classes that we both took or watched or whatever the case may be. I have his book too, if you want it.
I want to check that out.
If you want to read it, yeah. Because it's sitting on the shelf right now because I pretty much got it down.
So Heartbeast had some things that I was watching him, how he did stuff, and I was like, oh, okay. And so now a lot of I've actually completely did a rewrite of the code from start. So my first, if you want to call version, I'm on version 2.0 because the first way was very clunky and allowed very little future growth of the game. Everything there wasn't a lot of fluid variables. And after kind of learning some things, I rewrote the game, and so it'd be a lot easier to change it, and also, in theory, could infinitely scale levels now, instead of having kind of hard-coded level growth. It's now to where it could go on for... I could make it to where you could... It's literally impossible to beat. You could just keep going, and then the glimpse would be flush off, and then you're like, there you go!
But then you got to put a seizure warning.
Yeah, exactly. But that's where I'm coming. I'm happy with the game coming so far. I've actually learned a lot in the last 10 days. Quadrupled my knowledge base of how to do things in Game Maker, just from being stuck and then getting unstuck and realizing that opened the path to 10 different things.
Yeah. Another good place to go for things like that, for questions, is the actual Game Maker subreddit. You can ask a question and post up the code that you're working with, and people will answer you pretty quickly.
I'll try that too then. All right, that's pretty much it for me. I'll have more once I get the stuff and actually start getting art assets in. I think I'll start doing kind of like you do, screenshots and kind of, hey, this is what things look like. Because right now it's literally, it's blocks. It's blocks of different color. Everything's a placeholder just to knock down mechanics. Yeah. I literally haven't
necessarily working on art a whole bunch, especially if you're not sure about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so it's and I made things different colors just so I know which buttons. And then another thing I've done, I hate some of the naming conventions of the gamepad controls. GP Face 1 is the A button. Yeah. So literally I have a whole block of variables that pad_A equals GP face.
Oh yeah, you need to do that.
Because it was driving me crazy.
I have a script that runs that's get input, and it does all that. So I could say jump, and it knows that it's A.
Yeah, so. And then next is tackling the sticks.
Tackling the sticks.
Because just looking at the initial code, I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be just if left.
It's pretty easy. You definitely want to change the sensitivity to half. Because if you don't, any little bump or movement or calibration off will affect it.
Gotcha.
It'll move. So, and I'll just show you my input code, and you can just use that. I have it for gamepads if it's plugged in, or a keyboard if it's not plugged in. It's pretty basic. It's almost exactly the same as a keyboard. Just with different names of buttons.
Okay, so cool. I'll learn more. So that's it for our studios.
App 14 Studio. And then we'll re-record the outro. We're going to record another intro.
And then we gotta think of titles. My phone just died. Okay, so where's the outro?
I gotta thank the Patreon backers too.
Okay.
I gotta slip that in there.
Want to record that real quick?
I'll probably do that. It's like a little separate thing.
You just be like around you. You have some thank yous to give out.
I can slip that into the outro, and then each week just change the section if it's necessary. So I'll snip it into the outro. Yeah, that won't be too difficult. So we'll say, what we got? Intro, outro. That's it for this week's episode. Where can they find you? So you can find me at patreon.com/Dombrowski. Patreon is an easy way fans contribute, special shout-outs, inside information, free games. Speaking of shout-outs, special thanks to the elite backers, Patty Burnham and Colton Daniels. Boom. I'll just add that in there. Speaking of... Here we go.
Oh.
Let's do this. On this damn page break.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay. We're going to do a couple of these probably.
Alright, so everyone watching the live stream, we're going to record the outro. We may have to do it a couple times.
Yep, and then we're going to sit here for a long time and figure out what little witty thing we want to put on the intro and the name of the podcast. We'll just stare for a little while.
Yeah.
You can help us. If you've been watching, this is your chance to give some input. Yeah. You could. This could be your time to shine.
You'd be like, you know what, episode 14? Named it.
No. Okay, so let's do the outro.
That's it for this week's episode, Ryan. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at r_Doombrowski. On Facebook, just search for Doombrowski, and on Doombrowski.com. You can also find me on Patreon at patreon.com/Doombrowski. Patreon is an easy way for fans to contribute to Doombrowski and all of my related projects, including this very podcast. Fans on Patreon get special rewards, including podcast shoutouts, inside information, and free games. Speaking of shoutouts, special thanks to my elite patrons, Patty Burnham and Colton Daniels. Nate, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, all under The Ninja Fat Man. Please include the. Also, I've just screwed up.
No problem. We'll do it again. Just keep going off of this one. I need to put this in there too, because I kind of stuttered there. We'll just keep rolling.
You're clapping again?
Nope. Just keep rolling.
That's it. That's it for this week's episode. God, stop snickering. You made me laugh.
I wasn't snickering, actually. That was in your mind.
I thought I heard you, like... Okay. That's it for this week's episode, Ryan. Where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at r_Doombrowski. Find me on Facebook at Doombrowski, and you can find me on Doombrowski.com. You can also find me on patreon.com/Doombrowski. Patreon is an easy way for fans to contribute to Doombrowski and all of my related projects, including this very podcast. Fans on Patreon get special rewards, including podcast shoutouts, inside information, and free games. Speaking of shoutouts, special thanks to my elite patrons. I got too much to say here. I'll just re-record my section of it because you have the beginning. Fine. Unless you want to do the beginning again.
Up to you.
I'll just keep going.
Okay.
You can find me on Twitter at r_Doombrowski, Facebook at Doombrowski, and on Doombrowski.com. You can also find me on Patreon at patreon.com/Doombrowski. Patreon is an easy way for fans to contribute to Doombrowski and all of my related projects, including this very podcast. Fans on Patreon get special rewards, including podcast shoutouts, inside information, and free games. Speaking of shoutouts, special thanks to my elite patrons, Patty Burnham and Colton Daniels. Nate, where can they find you?
You can find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook, all under The Ninja Fat Man, including the.
You can find our podcast on SoundCloud, TuneIn, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music, and Doombrowski.com.
And check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/DoomNinjaPodcast and our Twitter at DoomNinjaCast. Thanks for listening. May your headband be tight and your XP plentiful.
Booyah. We need a little more joy in that last line.
I forgot to say it. You just want to say that ending over again?
Yeah, just the last line. Just make it sound more uppity.
You bastards!
Thanks for listening! Darnation!
Thanks for listening. May your headbands be tight and your XP plentiful.
Booyah. That's pretty good. I'll have to hack this together. I just need to remember that I need to hack it together. So I don't just put this crooked thing in there. Export. New outro.
Edit me, hack it, yo.
Brian. Do you believe in magic?
Okay, intro.
What are you guys doing in there? Can't get in trouble. The Pop-O-Matic Popper.
Okay.
The intro. The Beast. I need to be funnier. It'd be easier to do this if I was funnier, more memorable. We're talking about Frankenstein getting struck in the penis by lightning.
You can't say all that. AAA to indie games and Frankenstein getting struck by a lightning penis.
Struck by a lightning penis. That's a whole different story right there. He's getting struck. We're talking about Saints Row. The lightning penis.
And Saints Row 4 is a wub gun. It's like two turntables on a microphone, on a bullhorn. It's like whoa. It's like what's that style of music?
Dubstep.
Dubstep, yeah. It cracks me up.
Podcast about all things gaming, from streaming to development, new games and old AAA to indie games. And so, what else is the podcast about? What is it always about? But only in this episode. Because that's the whole point of this. Is just to make first-time listeners be like, "What? Really? Chumbawamba? They always talk about Chumbawamba."
Frankenstein.
There's also glitchy stuff. Some with glitching.
Glitch.
There's some with big robots. Let's talk about Titanfall.
That's probably a good episode. Would be like the Titan fell again.
I don't like that title. We can do something with the Titan falling, but I don't know about that. We need to figure out the little intro thing.
That's the hard part.
That's the priority, because I can name it later.
What did we talk about? So, Axiom Verge, a lot of hilarity. There's a glitch gun.
Yeah.
Pink balls shooting in all directions.
There's a little head crab thing that runs around. Little bug. The drill.
Explosive ticks.
A little drill dough gun. And you got Titanfall, parkour and robots. And molten shuriken.
Fire shurikens. And you talked about, keep going back to Frankenstein, because that was the one thing I remember being legit funny.
Well, I'll make a long-ass Frankenstein thing.
So, a podcast about all things gaming, from streaming to development, new games and old AAA to indie games, and
Frankenstein getting struck in the penis by lightning or something. let me clean it up. Or I would have to say like nethers or something. So if there's any young listeners, there shouldn't be, but if there are, they'll be like, "What's a nether?" And
Dangly bits.
Frankenstein. What's the word I'm thinking of? Oh, I got it.
Okay.
So the people that are watching didn't get to see what I just typed in.
So they'll get to see it. So look at the here when we record it.
And then we'll do something with the Titan for the name of the episode. Because I like the idea of either like including parkour or Titan or like a combination of Axiom Verge and Titanfall together. Like glitchy robots or something like that.
Titans on the Verge. Alright, so ready to record the intro.
Let me ask him a question. Alright, hold on. My brain was like something out. Alright. Record. Hi, I'm Ryan Dombrowski of game development studio Doombrowski.
I'm Nathan, YouTuber and rookie developer.
How do you spell that?
Shut up. Okay, go.
Hi, I'm Ryan Dombrowski of game development studio Doombrowski.
I'm Nathan, YouTuber and rookie developer. God, fuck, I can't say developer. Okay, go.
You can say dev if you want.
Okay.
Rookie game dev or something. I've had to change some words around just because when I say it, I was like...
Okay.
Alright. Hi, I'm Ryan Dombrowski of game development... See? I'm already missing it now. I'm getting marble mouth. Hi, I'm Ryan Dombrowski of game development studio Doombrowski.
And I'm Nathan, YouTuber and rookie game dev, the Ninja Fat Man.
And together we are...
Doom Ninja. A podcast about all things gaming, from streaming to development, new games and old, AAA to indie games.
And Frankenstein's conductive nethers.
I love it so much.
Let's say, Frankenstein's not the monster.
Yeah.
Listen. Listen to the cast. You'll understand. But
It's hard when people listen.
Is he the monster? Who's more the monster? The monster that created the monster. Ep 14 intro. Ryan. Save. Okay. So that's all of our actual footage that we need. Appreciate everybody hanging out. This is usually around the length that it runs. We start at 9 o'clock, get done 10:15, 10:30. And it's just give or take, depending on if we want to talk about some extra stuff. Sometimes we put some extra stuff in the can for future episodes that we may not be here to do. We want to continue to provide content for everybody every week. And, people have to have a life sometimes, so you just got to plan accordingly.
And every Tuesday at 9, like you said. So if there's something you want us to say, or a game you want us to talk about that you love, please hit us up. Twitter is where we are the most active.
Yeah. All the information is at the end of any episode that you find also. Like I said, I'm planning on putting polls up now a few days in advance, and then just playing whatever is at the top of the poll, because I'm going to put up things that I want to play anyway. So,
yeah, for sure.
Like next week, I'm going to have probably the other 3 that I had on that list, and I might throw in Broforce, which is probably going to just steamroll the whole list. But I want to play more Broforce anyway.
Sunday, you have plans.
What is Sunday?
The 6th.
I don't know yet. Who's watching? Oh, yeah. Well, Sandra's watching right now, but I was thinking of doing something for her birthday maybe this weekend.
Okay, cool.
Because it's coming up next week, but it's on a Wednesday. So
on a Tuesday.
I don't know. We'll see.
Well, if not, maybe we'll play some Broforce. Okay, anyway. Thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.